Here they use every opportunity for advertising. This is projected on the outside wall, apparently. If there's something more curious, I'll show you in a few minutes. It's apparently projected in the air. This is just some photo that's part of the advertising on the bus or somebody, but interesting graphic. Those lines are guidelines for the bottom of whatever it is I'll show you in a couple of minutes. This is how you tell where you are and where you're going. Very good system all the way around. The arrow indicates what direction, obviously. One blinking means where you're riding. The one that'll be green is where you're going to. Notice this arrow's already moved. When the arrow is pointing up above the red dot, that means there's another subway line that interfaces, so you can make a connection or a transfer there. And here's what I was talking about in the advertising. It flashes on the outside wall somehow, or seems to. Okay, Chinese family with a young girl who spoke enough English to understand what I was saying led me by the hand to the Summer Palace entrance. I have my ticket and I will go in. A through ticket is 60 RMB or yuan, which is a little bit less than $10. I'm inside the Summer Palace. This is a huge complex in which the major part of it geographically probably is a huge lake down here. I think it's down in this area. I think that I'm over here, but I can't be sure yet. This may be the back lake that was at the top of the graphic you just saw. If it is, I think it's the area that one of the emperors, I think it was Qinglong, who was the great-grandson of Kanji, one of the Mongols, and part of a tri-part dynasty series that was one of the best eras of China. This is a very pretty, quaint area. I assume that you can take boat rides wherever you want. This is the former Empress Chi Chi, who as a young child learned English from who knows whom, and now she's come here to reincarnate herself and take back the Summer Palace for her summer retreat. Now for Chi Chi, who was the Empress Dowager, who managed to wrestle control from two young boys who should have been emperor and probably were called that, but she was the one that controlled it all. This was their summer retreat. So if you live in Los Angeles, you want a place in Mammoth or Big Bear where you can go away from the heat of LA. This is it. This is a form of Chinese line dancing exercise. You'll see similar things in Saigon in the parks, at least I did. And this, another coterie of adherence to something somewhat different, but no doubt to achieve the same goal. This more rightly reflects what I think the Oriental does in exercise, and that's achieve not only a better physical condition, but a certain aesthetic grace. The couple that da-da-da-da-da. Here a couple practicing the waltz, I believe, or something akin to it, using the same kind of moves we use in line dancing, but in a much slower gait. You have to detour from where I was taking a picture of the area that's under restoration, but they don't give you any idea where the detours are, so what you do is simply follow the crowd. You'll notice the convexity of this pathway, again indicating the route of the noble. The Oriental or the English transliteration of Oriental phrases is very quaint. One on the metro this morning, a warning, said, "Please show your face to those in need." These big steel supports are designed to support this huge tree. Now, if you want a little clue about how the Chinese work at things, first of all, they have sheep so they can have 3 women picking weeds out here. But this is such that these people don't just dink around as you see in some countries where they go through the mockery of work, but they actually do it. And you'll see sometimes this woman on the left, I've seen her turn around, look behind her, and make sure she got while she's looking for it. And then when she notices she hidden, she walks back a couple of steps to pick it up. That kind of commitment is what the Americans are up against. We Americans are up against when it comes to the mindset for the future economies. This is interesting, and I just noticed it, but someone has taken the time to, when they were putting in this random stone patch here, to put in a flower on a tall vine in a vase. And as I walk along, I notice other little creative nuances of grace, if you will, little designs, some quite obvious. And I would suspect there's such a number that they were planned for. These buildings that were burnt down in the 1860s, built in 1750, in ruins, but now they've been dedicated to, for all intents and purposes, propaganda. But this is the Chamber of Elegance, so we'll see what it is. This is just a pretty little place to have a restaurant. But of course this mountain offers, whether it's natural or not, or built in the past, I don't know, of a very mountainous type of environment. Just what you would hope for. And you can see with these steps and that plateau area there and the remaining walls, there used to be some kind of activity that took place up there. Again, apparently this area was littered with old buildings before they were burnt down. Damn the wars and the retribution that are exacted by the winning side and the destruction of the other cultures. Here another revered tree with its plaque and its supports. And they're not the only place that does that. I've seen it before in other countries. Probably do it in ours where it's appropriate and necessary. Again, I've just climbed up these old stairs to look at the remains of the foundations for prior buildings. These rock walls that we see are huge slabs of rock, but in those days, as today, labor was cheap and power was unlimited. Imagine moving these babies into place. Here's a more elaborate design. Here's some Chinese iconography or script. Cute way of saying this. Imagine the effort for this realistic walkway. Particularly if it was done a long time ago. I don't know if that's true. But it's very, very comfortable, pleasant, park-like ambience here. And many side paths. But what I'll do is what I do in the city, since I very cleverly forgot my site map, is to just roam about and get myself orientated. Okay, from this point is a tourist map of the Summer Palace. Tower of Buddha incense, I think, is behind me, and the Seasdom of Wisdom Temple. And since it's up, I'll walk up and get that out of the way.